Okay, I think we are super good to go. So, team, a incredibly good morning to you, and welcome to this particular mastermind, a special one because our masterminds change in terms of strategy as of today. Firstly, we have a 3-week break, and then we'll come back to doing a monthly mastermind with some really cool tools for you to support the process. And our special guest today, Sandy Rana from Reliance Real Estate. Sandy, how are you? Sandy, can
I'm
you hear
very
me?
good, Michael. How are you? Good morning. Yes,
Hey,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
yeah, absolutely. Sandy, you are looking very sharp there this morning. So no doubt
Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
planning a big day of production and getting into go mode. Guys, one of the things that I really want you to tune into today is to hear Sandy's real development and the momentum, Sandy, that you've been able to build in the business. And this year at the ARIAs, the joint winner of the of Agent of the Year. So the level at which you're operating, what you're doing is absolutely awesome. Now, Sandy and I had a call earlier, or actually yesterday, and saying, Michael, I'm not sure if I've got anything really important to share. And we went through these strategies. I'm going like, oh my gosh, you have so much to share and so much amazing value to add. So, guys, one of the things that we did talk about is that the goal of these sessions is to one, get a real understanding of how someone else is operating, being able to step into Sandy's shoes, understand how he's running his business, and then being able to take away the relevant points for you in your marketplace and bring those things into play. So we're going to go through a few key points today, and the most important thing after these masterminds is to do a debrief as a team and say, okay, what are the relevant things to put into place? I know the Reliance guys are here supporting you, Sandy, around it, and they already know how great you are and the things that you do to make it happen.
Thank you, Reliance family.
So Sandy, how about we start with just a little bit of background, your marketplace. I think it was 125 transactions last year. Yeah. So could you talk a little bit about your marketplace, average sale price, what that looks like?
Yes, actually, we are about 40 kilometers from Melbourne CBD in western suburb. Melton South is my farming area. And the average sale price is about 480. It was last year 500, but now it's 480. And we sold about 125 last year. And we are on about 55, 56 this year.
In terms of the calendar year so far?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So Sandy, in terms of your business, I know you're running the office as well as the lead agent within the office. Look, we're going to talk more so about your sales business and how you're running that. Probably the first thing is to talk about is a little bit how you're structured now and what you're doing, and then we're going to go work back and go, all right, how did you get into that? How did you get the momentum that you've got now in the business? Yeah. So a little bit about your structure.
So I have a team of 3 actually, and I share admin with office. And the way we work, I lead the team. My job is to do the listing presentation, do the appraisals, do the vendor management, vendor negotiation as well, and negotiation with the buyer. Sean, he does all our buyer management. He does online inquiries. He does all the open houses as well. Like I am there as well with him, but not all the opens because we do about 15 every week. So he does all of that, and we speak with vendor about it as well. And he does a negotiation with the buyers as well. But he introduces to myself as well whenever need be. And now he's running his own team as well. Now we have Happy with us as well. His job is actually every daily basis. He does about 4-hour door knocking and generating as much as lead possible. and pass it to me as well. And secondly, he does all the with the database as well. So he provide me all the leads he generate during the day. Next day we speak about that as well, and if I need to call somebody to book appraisal or go on listing a presentation as well, we discuss about that as well.
Yeah,
So that's
fantastic.
what his job is.
Yeah, fantastic. So a couple of points. I just want to check in, guys. Are you hearing this okay? Sandy's dropping out in and out just a little bit for me. And it could be my end, given that the power is out here at Platypus. So no, you're not hearing it. Okay. Any other comments, guys? Sandy, what it's dropping out. Okay. So Sandy, it must be on your end. Have you got a second Wi-Fi, or can you go just to a phone, or, and Georgie's saying it's all good for me. It's a bit sketchy from Michael. Sandy, do you have a second Wi-Fi? Or
Is that okay now?
Yeah, it is. What did you do?
I turn off the Wi-Fi actually. So now I'm using my phone.
Oh,
my
okay.
phone 3G. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. That's great. So look, that was so powerful what you went through. Could we just go back and go over that in terms of the team roles? Because I think you said 4 hours of prospecting for
yes.
one of your teams. So
yes,
that would be a really good thing for your colleagues to hear in the network.
Yeah, that is a very, very important actually, as our business is basically when we figure out how many property we sold, our business is 50% is cold in and 50% is we door knock those properties, and we got the listing just then, or maybe in 3 month time or 5 month time.
Yeah, fantastic. So guys, this is a super important point. What Sandy's saying is quite often when an agent's in momentum and you know, doing 50 or 60 transactions, they go, okay, I'm happy with that 50 or 60, so I'll just run with that. But that's half. So Sandy, what you're just saying there, 50% of your business is now call-in business because of the momentum you've created. But the other 50%, you're out there generating, and you know, the door knocking, the prospecting activities, and so on. And I think you guys know, who are tuning in, I tend to call it personal introductions as opposed to door knocking. But you're doing it with a purpose, aren't you? So could you just talk about, and this is Happy, who's doing that work with in your team
at
now?
this stage? Yes, last year it was Vikas, my brother, but
yes,
now he's running his own team, so he moved to the different office. But now we have a Happy, and every daily basis, 2 hours in the morning 10 to 12, and in the evening 3 to 5. Every day he does door knocking.
Excellent. And could you just go through and explain that? Because you know, I know everyone on the line has heard from me the whole point of having a valid reason to you know, introduce yourself and so on. Could you just talk a little bit about the strategies that Happy's using?
Look, what works for us actually, like wherever we sell property, our aim is to need to know every single neighbor on the street. So we go there and speak with every single neighbor. So they know us, and we know there is no property coming in the market from that street. So that's our aim is. We tell them, look, we sold this house, we have miss out buyer. And if you are thinking of selling or getting a price estimate, a new price estimate, actually, we're happy to help you in that regard.
Excellent. So guys, this is about a valid reason that all of you have got access to right now. And I love those. There's 3 steps in there. Hi, just letting you know, we sold the property down the road. There were some buyers that missed out, and they're still really keen on the area. So that component. And by the way, if you'd like an opinion, would you call it opinion on price, or an up-to-date valuation?
Yes, updated valuation. But mainly, like, you need to have a very clean database as well. You don't want to go there again and again. So you really need to know, yes, I've spoken with this guy and that's what he said. So we don't want to, you know, like go back there again and again, and, you know, they become rude then. But yes, we just wanted to have a very clean database. We met those many people, and now we need to meet, you know, the one we haven't met.
Yeah, fantastic. If we look at it, Happy's goal is around your listings that you've currently got is really expanding that. How many he'd work a fair area around each of your listings?
Yes, like if you ask me, even last week, we generated about 5 appraisals last week by itself.
Yeah, fantastic, great. And are they? Would you class them as high, medium, low? Like are some coming on the market now, or some like more of a pipeline kind of seller?
3 is like a pipeline seller, but 2 we might be getting listing this week actually.
Okay, fantastic. And once again, guys, the thing I love about this is, Sandy, this is business that is out there that isn't necessarily going to come to you. So what you're doing as a team is you're going to them and generating that. The ones that you're going out to, are they competitive? Are they going to other agents, or because you
that's the beauty about it actually. That business is very easy. You're not competing with anybody, just going there and listing the property pretty much. Like most of the cases, I will even say 90% of them, and they don't even call anybody else. Maybe 10% of them might call someone, but they're still very, very easy business, I will say.
Yeah, fantastic. By the way, where were you born? Just a little bit of history. Where were you born? When did you come to Australia? That kind of thing.
I born in India and I came here in 2008.
2008.
As a student, yes.
Yeah, awesome. How much? And clearly, and I've seen you guys talk in your native language, and it's just like this amazing, mode of like there's words going all over the place that is just like huge. I think, guys, the important point here is, Sandy, your second language is English, right?
Yes.
So here you are, right? You become the number one agent in your marketplace after 18 months, and you're just out there doing it. You're just doing the things that will actually make a difference. And you've come up with your strategy. This is a really important point, guys, with Sandy's strategy that works. And what he's saying is the 50% of his business that he's out there prospecting and generating, the vast majority of the time, you're not competing for this. And, Claudia's just saying, so inspiring.
Thank you.
Well done, Sandy. And Claudia, you're 100% correct. This is brilliant. Now, and George is saying amazing.
Thank you.
Sandy, an important point here, you didn't have your team initially. So, it was you, getting out there and doing it. How did you start up? What was your startup strategy?
We started here in Melton actually in 2017 in January. And I was here with 3 of the other team members as well. And we started again the same thing. We were doing a 4-hour door knocking every daily basis. That's where it's helped us a lot. But secondly, what I felt was like I met a lot of local builders here that time because I had a lot of time that time. So I met a lot of local business. I met one of the builder as well, and I spent a bit of time with him as well. Gave him a bit of time. And he gave me a listing actually. He gave me a listing to sell brand new house. And I sold that house in 5 days and got him very good price as well. And today I think we sold about 50 property for him.
Wow. That's
so
fantastic.
It's about, I even called after that listing, I even called all our local builders. And I got about 10 to 15 leads from brand new houses. You see a board there where you can see sometime it's a supervisor number, sometime a builder number as well there. And I got a lot of leads from there. And that's where I sort of become, I was selling a lot of newer houses, and all these new houses start calling me as well and start getting business from there.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, guys, just on this, if you're in a marketplace where you've just tuned out because, we don't have new home builds in our marketplace, can I just get you to retune in on this strategy? what Sandy did is he looked at his marketplace. He went hyper local and said, okay, what's happening in this marketplace where I can capitalize, where I can move into it, and so on. You know, you've heard me talk about the strategy prospecting by driving around. You know, finding out, well, hang on, there's a reno going on here. There's someone getting their house painted here. There's those kind of things. So whilst
Because
you may
people
say,
want to talk as well. You know, they want to talk. You need to spend a bit of time when you don't have time, of course. No.
Yeah, and in building those, and in building that, Sandy, you've built this amazing kind of momentum in the marketplace. Let's talk a little bit about, so you meet someone, you get clean data into your CRM, into the database. How do you then nurture them and look after them? What sort of things are you doing?
I send them an SMS. I speak with them like in 3 months or 6 months, something like that. But mainly, yes, you can call it a pipeline as well, but it's more, I was getting a business actually right away as well. So when I was doing a door knocking, I was getting a business. Somebody wanted to sell in 6 weeks time. Somebody wanted to sell in even 2 weeks time as well. So I had a advantage, I will say, but I was on the doors every daily basis as well. But I felt like I was a little bit lucky there as well, where I was getting business pretty much every day as well.
Yeah. It's just incredible. And, you know, one of the things that I'd like to get an understanding is, what was your mindset around that? Because, you know, I think some people think, oh, I'll be interrupting people. They don't want to talk with me. You know, what if they say, get out of here, I don't want to talk to an agent, that kind of thing. What's your mindset or approach? And also, clearly you've done some coaching with Happy to get him into a mindset as well.
Look, our aim is to get one rude vendor for sure. When we get one rude vendor, that means we're going to get a good appraisal or sort of a listing presentation as well. Like our aim is, look, we don't know what's going on with them, you know, like because you don't know behind the scene what they're thinking. So they're not you know, being rude with you. They might have a situation they're not happy with. But I think we are in a very good country, and everybody is pretty soft, and they want to talk as well. And my mindset is, I love being on doors. I go there when used to be, I was on doors every daily basis. And when you get business from there, so you like more. So that's where you wanted to go more. But if you have excuses, yes, you know, weather is bad, it's too hot, it's raining outside. That's where you know, you can't do it. It's more about, you have to do it daily basis. It's not like it's a long-term game. It's not 1 week, 2 week, a month. It's years. You know, that's where you need to. Our aim was not become number one in 2 years. Our aim was becoming number one in 5 years. But our team did very well, and the whole Reliance Melton is I think every single our lead agent are number one in their farming area, and they follow the same system as well. So they are out there every daily basis, and we have a very good culture. We discuss about who we met, you know, on the doors, and we have a bit of fun there.
Yeah. Okay, so you do a debrief and as a team and say, who do we meet, that kind of thing. So I'm loving the fact that you know, you're not taking it personally if someone gives you know, a hard time. It's like, okay, we don't know what's going on in their life. You know, next, move on. One of my favorite sayings, I talk about this at Sales Bootcamp, is every no gets me closer to yes, so thank you. So it's appreciating getting the no's. And if you don't get the no's, you're not going to get the yeses. So clearly you've got that mindset built into the way that you're doing it. Living proof that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Great. Yes, Sandy, you're 100% correct. So moving on from there, Sandy, you know, one of the things that we talked about yesterday is that in your marketplace, you've actually sold 100 properties where the closest competitor has sold 35. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a real, you know, like a massive listing advantage for you now. we'll talk about what you're doing now, because you're in a market dominant position around it. Could we talk a little bit about, you know, in startup mode when you were competing? You know, was it the fact that you played the energy game? You know, was it, you know, I'm going to be the hardest working agent? What was it that actually you think had people get across the line? I know from the prospecting you might have been the only one in, which is a really key aspect, guys, that I'd love you to take on board from Sandy. If you were competing in the early days, how did you actually go about winning the business?
As you said, it's it's all about energy only. So you need to show the energy. You are the only, you know, like you will be doing the best job for them. I was explaining them what we are doing daily basis as well. Like yes, initially I was getting only leads from the door knocking. So I was not competing with any of the agent. But later on, when you know, I had a bit of sold properties as well, I had a bit of confidence there as well. So I was winning most of the listing just over how many property we sold, and mainly my focus was just to focus on a little area actually, not like go all around. As I said before, wherever we sell properties, we 100% gonna list one or two property in the same street. I even sold 7 property in one street. So my focus is just on that street and go around, not think so much about if you're gonna get called in. Like still I don't, you know, when I get called in, yes, we are still happy we're gonna get business and we win about 80% of them as well. But we still, when we get lead from door knocking, we are very pumped and we are very happy with that.
Yeah, yeah. So what's interesting, guys, and please take this on board. You might have heard me use the term stealth listings. So over 50% of your listings, Sandy, today even are stealth listings. Now, what is a stealth listing? A stealth listing is competitors don't know about this until they see the signboard on the property, till they see it on your website, kind of thing. It's like, pop, there it goes. I love
and
this.
Then they call the vendor, because they have done the appraisals maybe 2 years ago, and then they call, why did you give it to a new kid? They used to call me new kid.
That's fantastic. So let's fast forward a little bit from there, and now talk about your listing appointment. And I know Sunil has spoke with me about the energy you have at the listing appointment. I mean, you know, you look incredibly sharp, right?
Okay.
And you know, unbelievably presentable. Could you talk a little bit about, you know, what do you think are the key things that's helping you win business now? And, you know, any changes you're putting in place, you know, right now in your listing appointment?
Yeah. So now what we're doing, when we get called in, we straight away, whenever they call, I don't call them if I don't have time. I call them when I'm on my computer or I have a bit of time. Because whenever they call me, I ask them pre-qualified questions. I try to get the intention. Are they selling now, or this is just a price check?
Yep.
If it is just if it's just a price check only. So that's where I ask them, like, you know, where they're going, what's the, if they have done a bit of renovation, how old is the house, why they're selling, things like that. And straight away I ask, I let them know as well, I will be dropping a pre-listing kit, and they get the pre-listing kit pretty much same day, and I go on appraisal next day.
Excellent. Excellent.
And I text them after talking to them over the phone. Thank you so much for speaking with you over the phone. We're looking forward to meet you tomorrow. In the morning again, we text them, look, we are ready and excited and prepared for our meeting today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So just a couple of things on this. I love the fact that you've really taken on board the strategy that the listing appointment starts on the phone, where you're getting, you know, you're finding out, you know, what's their plan, have they decided to sell, you know, have they done any renovations, you know, where are they going to? So you've got this really good picture of it. And you're even asking the question, is it a price check or are you actually, you know, thinking about selling, or what's your timing? So, you know, once again, in a conversational style, that you know, I love your voice, by the way, and that conversational style would come through brilliantly well.
And that's where you have a little bit of connection already with them as well, because if you you know, have a bit of conversation with them, so they open up as well over the phone as well.
Yes, fantastic, great. So then you've done some really cool touch points there. That, you know, the text message, the pre-listing kit, the call. Really excited about meeting with you today. Let's get to the listing appointment. What's your strategy there?
So when I go there, I don't go through the house just right away. I sit down with them and set the agenda for the meeting. I do ask them as well what they're aiming from the meeting as well, and then bit of chat then as well, and then we go through the house, and then you know, going through the house, we just the general talk as well, what they do, things like that, and just want to make a connection with them as well. So, and after finishing the tour of the house, I straight away ask them, so what's the plan? So are we selling right away if we get the right price? So that's where I get, if I get the right answer, like they're definitely selling, then accordingly I you know, I have a structure listing presentation, I go through it.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's sit down, what do you want to get out of today? And a nice sort of that build that connection, then have a look through, and then you go through, you know, so what is the plan? You know, if you can get the price, I love the way you said that. If you can get the price, are you selling today? You know, yes, no, maybe, and then go into the detail of that. So you're not wasting your time on someone who has said, well, I'm not sure. You're helping them in that process get closer to the decision. Yeah, fantastic, great. And what's your energy like at a listing appointment?
Look, we are yes, we are high in energy when we do the appraisals, and we are a little bit not a little bit, actually very aggressive on the listing presentation as well. We talk about our numbers, because our number is usually make a big difference as well. So that's where I went with one of my directors recently, actually, to appraisal. He was very surprised. So we speak like we are the authority. We are doing every daily basis, and we advise them accordingly, actually.
Excellent. So guys, what you're hearing in this, and I'm sure you're taking a heap of notes, because I'm getting, you know, huge things out of this. What you're hearing in Sandy is belief transfer. Okay. So I'm the right agent for you, and I'm transferring that belief. So, I mean, I know you've used the word aggressive there, but I think you're, I'd probably put it in the category of, you know, assertive. Yeah. Geordie's saying determined, driven, unstoppable. Yeah, great. So it's got that kind, you've got that kind of purposefulness around it.
And we don't have that fear, actually. We're not going to get the listing, because we list a property in the right price. We don't list overpriced listing as well. Sometimes the owner is unrealistic. So we go through with them, and we explain them as well. And we even tell them to even check few of the agencies. Few of the agencies listing a property well above the realistic price, and they've been in the market for a while, come back to us, and we are the one going to sell it as well.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. So could you talk a little bit about that, the pricing, how you get that pricing? Because, you know, I think it's very easy to buy a listing where you know, you can take something on board, but, you know, we've really taken on board a liability more than we have a listing. How are you going through that? You know,
we always go through with the bankable figure, and also, you know, the vendor have a bit of expectation as well. We go through with that figure as well, and we just go through like going in the market with unrealistic figure. We might not able to achieve the top price as well. So we really need to follow the right procedure, which is we do tell them the stories as well. Like across the road, we sold a property. That's what happened with them. So yes, I mean, we sometimes we lose a listing over you know, talking about so much about realistic price, but like 85% of the time we win the business over that. We show them like we have the database. We do show them we are the number one agent for you. Like the service we provide, we go through the structure as well, because we can give you the better service because we have a team structure. Somebody is there just on the buyers, and my job is just to negotiate on your house. And I've been doing it from last 3 years, and better than, of course, everybody else as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
But when you have good numbers, I think you have a bit of confidence there as well. I think going on appraisals, if you don't have confidence, you're gonna lose for sure. But if you go there, I'm gonna win it anyway, and then you get that as well.
Yeah. And guys, there's really I think there's 3 ways to build confidence, just to clarify this point, because some who are breaking into a marketplace may not have the kind of results, 100 properties and the closest competitors sold 35. That's a very compelling case. And they're probably bombing you that, Sandy's too busy to look after you. And so I'm sure you're addressing that at the listing appointment. But guys, to me, there are 3 things that builds confidence. Firstly, it's your mindset going in that I'm serving this client. I'm going to give them the best outcome if they list with me. That's the first one. The second one is your product knowledge. Having like this incredible product knowledge to be able
case studies and
and to share it and so on. And then the third one is the amount of training and dialogue that you're actually utilizing. Now, it's probably fair to say that most people who've tuned in here have heard me talk about bankable figure and, the emotional price and the bankable price. And here's Sandy utilizing that to actually win him business. So, Sandy, one of the things that I truly respect is you're grabbing hold of certain components and bringing it in and making it your own. And that's the power, guys. Like, it's no longer a network strategy, it's Sandy's strategy. So, it's integrating it into your style and your approach to doing business.
Yep. You need to be who you are. You can't, of course, you need to make it your own dialogues and just use what we learn from the trainings as well. But you can't be like, you can't copy somebody as well as it is, because you cannot.
I agree 500%. Yeah, there's at this point in time, I feel there are too many coaches out there that say this line to the vendor and everything will be fixed.
Then everybody is same.
And everyone's saying it's like, what? As opposed to no, what's your style? What resonates with me? And what's the approach that we have with this? Sandy, this has been brilliant in terms of going through. Are there any other key components that from our conversation yesterday that you wanted to chime in and share?
Pretty much, to me, actually, real estate is just the prospecting. You need to be out there every daily basis, and you don't need to worry about anything else. Don't worry what other agents thinking about you. Don't worry if they see you are on doors and they are driving a car over because they are losing business from there, and not you are making business out there. So don't worry. Focus should be on prospecting, because that's, real estate is long-term game as well. You don't want to compare somebody who's been there for 10 years. You need to think about yourself, do the basic every daily basis, and everything should be fine, I think.
And Sandy, what I love about that is quite often the fastest way to feel a level of, depression or sort of like anxiety is to compare yourself with someone who's been in the business for 10 years. And all of a sudden, well, I'm not them. That's correct. Be the best version of you. And so what you're saying there is go from where you're at, and today is the first day in your real estate career. So the first day of the rest of your real estate career. So what can I put in place here? And if we benchmark against ourselves, then that's the best way we can actually do it. Brilliant. So any other advice for someone who's new in the business, coming into the business?
As I said before, again, you should have a aim to gather as much as a database you can. Like, you should have like 300 contacts to start with. And again, don't worry about anything else. Just every daily basis, your aim should be on doors, speaking with people. And yes, it's a long-term game. You will be fine as long as you're doing the basics.
Yeah, yeah. Hey guys, what I'd love you to do is put into the chat. What were the key things that really resonated from you out of what Sandy has been through? Yeah, Sandy Warburton, great work, Sandy. Thanks for the insight. Thank you, Sandy Bye. Okay, very good. Well done, JD. Prospecting every day. Michael Barr, thank you very kindly for that being the key coming out. Keep them coming through, guys. I'll put my glasses on. Consistency, yes, brilliant, guys. That's the key. You're an inspiration, Sandy. Very good. Mukesh,
Thank
well
you.
done. So door knocking is 50% of the business that's coming through, as opposed to waiting and playing the. It's almost it's sort of like an English gentleman's kind of thing. Know everyone in the street. Great, Vaughan. Prospect every day. Yep, Scott, brilliant. So it's not an optional activity for you, Sandy, and for your team. And it's something that you just built into the DNA of your team. Whereas, so often I'll do everything else and then boom, I'll get to that. Get on the doors, no matter the weather, gather the information, gather the data coming through. Hey, Sandy, this has been absolutely brilliant. You sharing your insights and perspectives. So
Thank
how many are you going to list?
Thank you for having me.
How many are you going to list this year? How many properties? Because basically, if you list it, you sell it. That's fair to say, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I listed last year about 160 properties. I sold it within my team about 125. And then I said 20 sold by my Melton team as well. So I list more actually. Number is,
Yeah,
numbers.
fantastic. So this year, what's the goal for this year?
Our aim is to beat, our aim is to do like 30 transactions every quarter. And I think we're not too far from that.
Yeah, brilliant. So guys, the key to this is going to be to come together and do a debrief on this. And I think, one of the amazing things is that the Reliance guys get to see you on a daily basis, but you've actually walked through brilliantly some of the things that you're doing that actually make the difference. And I think it's a great reinforcer. It's a great reminder as to how simple the business can be when you put the right things in consistently, what can actually turn up and achieve. So, Sandy, hey, thanks for your contribution. Absolutely awesome.
Thank you, Michael.
The big question that I've got to ask you is how was this? Was it as daunting as you were thinking it was going to be, or has it been great?
I couldn't even sleep last night. It was, I thought it's going to be very, very hard. But as you gave me a bit of confidence yesterday, I thought I will be fine, yes.
Yeah. Look, you not sharing this is sort of like doing a disservice to everyone, because you're just doing the things that will actually make the biggest difference. So round of applause for Sandy, a virtual round of applause.
Thank you.